The Broncos' final tune-up game before the regular season. The starting quarterbacks today were Clayton Tune, Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham only got one drive and they scored a touchdown. I was hoping he was going to get another possession, but they wanted to see more of Zach Wilson, and Zach Wilson did play very well. The only questions were he did have some moments where he was making those mistakes that you would see when he was with the Jets. But ultimately, he did play well. There were times where the offensive line did not give him any help. These are also third and fourth teamers, roster bubble type players. I don't see, like Crum had a stretch early on where he was giving up pressure relatively quickly, but he seemed to have held his own as the game progressed. Zach Wilson threw for over 250 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 16 of 25, I believe. The defense also showed up today. The depth on the front 7 is so good, and the secondary looks pretty nice too. Again, complimentary football. I don't have any envy to be Sean Payton right now because the cuts he's got to make by the 27th, I'm glad I don't have to make those calls. Those calls they're going to be tough to make. There's a lot of good players going to be missing out on the team. Many wide receivers on the roster that you would love to see make it, but obviously can't. They're going to find a home relatively quick. The running backs as well, a lot of depth there. Samaje Perine didn't play today, but editor's note here. Yeah, as I was editing this video, the Broncos have announced that they're shopping some of the veterans as Samaje Perine and Tim Patrick. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. He won't be on the roster this year. I don't know why. I'm just getting that feeling. Javonte is probably going to make the team. I would like to see Jaleel estimate, and even Blake Watson. Blake Watson was awesome during the preseason. I don't know. Samaje could still make the team. I mean, he's a more experienced back, of course. Better in those third down situations. We saw in the Packers how Estimate picked up a blitz. We'll see how that goes, during this season, because that's a very small sample size. Man, the roster size is going from 90 to 53 by Tuesday. A couple days later, you could get your 16 for the practice squad and hope that some of the players that you initially cut are available in the waiver wire, and you could pick them up. For me personally, I want Tim Patrick to make the team. I just love that guy. I think I would be surprised if he doesn't make the team. It would be a rough thing, what he's dealt with the last couple of years with injuries and such. There'll be teams that would want him. I mean, and then you got Philip Dorsett, you got Lil Jordan Humphrey. Like, the list goes on and on with the receivers and the running backs. I could see all but one, and that one I'm not really sure. I almost want to say Samaje Perine, but what he could bring to the table as a receiving back. I mean, he was big for us in some of those 2-minute drills at the end of games or at the end of halves to try and steal a couple points. How fun was today? Even though it was preseason, 38 points. The defense getting that pick 6 late. Man, this team is making me have fun again. I mean, granted, it is preseason. Even though Denver has already released Justin Simmons, Caden Stearns, and all that, we lost Lloyd Cushenberry. Does the team feel better? I don't know. The team almost feels better, which sucks because I've already mentioned this in the past, but I wish we kept Simmons, of course. I think every Bronco fan wish we kept Simmons. That is not rocket science or anything like that. Could this be Sean Payton's best team, talent-wise? I mean, I almost feel like the only position that he had better in New Orleans is at quarterback with Drew Brees, and I mean, we'll see what Bo Nix does, but when you break it down by position groups, I don't know. I think this Bronco team is better than the team that won the Super Bowl. Is that bias? Yes, that's probably extremely biased. That's coming from a Broncos fan. But if there happens to be any Saint fans, how do you feel about that? I would like to know what you think. Could this actually be? You probably wouldn't want to admit that either, as Saint fans, but maybe you would. Maybe you'll actually think this might be Sean Payton's best roster to date, which is also very crazy to think after losing some pretty big pieces. I feel like there's already an upgrade at quarterback from last year. Bo Nix, I know it's preseason. Jared Stidham played well. I wish he got one more possession. The way all three quarterbacks played during the preseason, I don't know. This is tough. I'm trying to think on how, if we want to carry 2 or 3 quarterbacks, but I don't know. In today's NFL, I feel like you should carry 3. You just never know when your guys are going to get hurt. And Bo Nix, I mean, he's been pretty durable in his college career. I mean, I didn't get to see him play. He did have 60 career starts, so I would say that's pretty durable for college. And he had an extra year due to COVID, essentially. The penalties were better today. There were some like roughing the passer calls and stuff like that. Didn't really change any outcomes of the possessions. I miss Prater, and I was super surprised when he missed that 55-yarder. I was like, it's in Denver. He's got this one. And then when it missed, I put my hands on my head because I was like, what? I was shocked. But since now I got to root against him, I was happy he missed. But Prater, he's a good kicker. He ended up making a 50-yarder later in the game. Hey, Amos. Say hi. Amos, say hi. Say hi to the camera. Say hi to YouTube. Buddy, I'm recording a video, okay? So I'm gonna have to put you down, alright? Don't knock anything. Don't knock my camera setup. I really don't have much to add to this game. It was a solid win, but it's preseason. 38 points, which we don't see that very often as a Bronco fan. Not since Peyton left. We haven't seen that many points scored. We've seen 34, 27, and 38 now in preseason. I have always said, with the defense that they've had, I would always say, just score 23, 24 points a game. We would win a lot of games. But of course, we've struggled in the scoring points department for God knows how long now. It would be so nice to actually have something different this year. If you've seen my AFC West predictions, I'm already thinking we're going 8-9. But maybe that will be revised. Being 8-9, maybe they'll actually be a better than 500 team, which is all I can really ask for at this point. It'd be the first one since we had Trevor Siemian. It's been a long, long time since football felt fun. Last year we had a fun stretch. That 5-game win streak, and especially the one against the Chiefs. God, that was nice. That was so freaking nice. That felt like our Super Bowl because we haven't beaten them in years. But now we gotta try and do that to the Raiders. We gotta end their winning streak against us. Hopefully they can end it. This video is pretty much done. I can't think of anything else to add. Comment down below, Bronco fans, how you feel about the team, who you think will be cut, how you think this team will do this year. Do you think they'll be 9-8, or do you think they'll be more, still those 4 to 7 wins? I'm feeling optimism. You've been seeing it all over the place, believing. It's hard not to believe right now. We went 3-0 in preseason. That doesn't always mean anything because teams could go 3-0 and then go 0-16. Well, God, I'm still thinking of the old school, the 0-16 Lions, who went, I believe went 4-0 in that preseason. You've seen teams go 0-4 and make it to the playoffs. Preseason ultimately doesn't mean a whole lot, but at the same time it means everything. Because what I feel, this team has a lot of depth. Maybe not so much depth on the offensive line, but then again, those guys aren't gonna make the team. The ones that struggled in pass protection today. All in all, this preseason, I was super thrilled of how the team played. I'm still rambling. Yeah, this is gonna do it for this video. Leave a like, comment down below. If you like what I'm doing here, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss another video. Have a great day, everybody. Let's go Broncos.